Welcome back to Probe the Act on Deepstuff Radio. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Probe the Act on Deepstuff Radio. Emmy Hikins and our lovely Trevor here, a musician, a singer and a songwriter, all the way from London. So, Trevor, what are your sources of inspiration?
Sources of inspiration? It's a very good question. I said earlier that a neighbour a few years ago asked me to write her a song. Mm-hmm. Inspiration, I think it's all around us in all sorts of ways, and I mentioned Stephen Sutton,
absolutely,
who I found very inspirational, and that produced one of my personal favourites of my songs.
Yeah.
Other songs, generally I would have to say over the years that the inspiration has been an individual.
Yeah.
From a friendship. One of my songs, If Only Dreams Came True, was about just that, a little bit of sort of not fantasising, but feeling very strongly for somebody and realising that it's only a dream, and why do the dreams always end. I think it's fair to say most of my songs come from that. I mean, one I've recently written and recorded is actually, I related, though I don't say it in the song, I probably wouldn't be allowed to, but I related to the programme Doc Martin, and I don't know if you know that, but
I do, yes.
He had total problems expressing himself to his lady friend, his wife, in the programme, and I wrote a song this past year about that relationship, about the fact that some people find it very, very difficult to actually express their feelings, and because I watched some of that, the last series being filmed in Cornwall last year, I was very inspired to write something about that relationship between the Doc and Louisa. So yes, I think my inspiration comes from that. I have two beautiful young granddaughters, and I've written each of them a song, Kimberly and Lucy, and the songs are titled Kimberly, and then one for Lucy as well. So yeah, I think the essential inspiration comes from people. Yeah, and years ago I wrote a song for my daughter, who's Kimberly and Lucy's mum, my daughter Angela, called Little Lady, and so that she was a very good source of inspiration too.
Wow.
So yes, that's where I get my inspiration from.
Wow, that's very beautiful. So how would you describe the very first step to making a song for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. It varies, and I've been surprised over the years how relatively often I've got up in the night to use the loo. And I've had a bit of a riff or a tune in my head. Yeah. I wrote a song a couple of years ago called Beautiful Lady, and which is about a lady I was living with at that time. And this tune was totally there, and so I had to go find my little recording machine, which I had then, and just sort of hum the tune into this. Otherwise, the following morning it would have
disappeared. Yeah.
And actually, from there, then I worked on it over the next 2 or 3 days on the piano, and within probably 2 or 3 weeks, I'd actually recorded the song, and once again got that very strong sense of reward and I suppose achievement to create something from nothing.
I know.
And then to produce, to play the instruments, to write the song, the chords, arrange it, and then end up with it on a CD as well as online and so on. I know. From nothing to something, and I think that's one of the great things about the creativity that I feel I have in writing
beautiful.
music.
It is beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So, if you had to, I know you obviously like all your songs that you've written, but if you had to narrow it to just, if you had to narrow it down to just 2 that you really like at the moment, which ones would you choose?
Right. What would I choose? I think I would say one that I've already mentioned, If Only Dreams Came True. And what else would I say? I think I would probably say Song for Sue. That's the title, Song for Sue.
Right.
I would say those 2 at the moment. It's difficult to say favourites because I do tend to like all of my songs, and one of the reasons for that is I can be sort of 3 or 4 hours into a song, the writing of it, and then I will dump it. I'll say, no, this is not up to my own minimum standard, if you like. I know if I'm not getting there with a particular song. I mean, I mentioned I used to wake up, I still do, overnight with a tune in my head.
Yeah.
Other times I've sat down with the guitar or the piano, and like many people, you get a bit of a block, you think, I'm not getting anywhere, you might spend 2 hours and get nowhere at all.
Yeah.
I do find very often something will come to me when I'm out, just a little kind of a catchy melody bit, and so I record it on my phone there and then. But because of that standard I set myself, I don't really ever end up recording a song which I feel is below my own standard. So I do actually like all of my songs, but yeah, inevitably I suppose I do like some better than others. Others I would say, I'll remember you. My inspiration is another one. Intricate simplicity. So there's a lot, but I would initially go for If Only Dreams Came True and Song for Sue.
I mean, it's difficult. It can't be a difficult question for any artist at all, because, you know, the amount of resources you put into it, time and everything, you know, you cannot not fall in love with your own creation, you know. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to take a short break now. Please don't go away. Listening to Probe the Act on Deepstuff Radio with Emmy Hikins, and a lovely singer and a songwriter, also a musician all the way from London, Trevor. We'll be back shortly. Please don't go away.